Brian, ZL3XDJ. And this is what you've just been seeing on the table is the tools and the start of a big antenna project and a big antenna change around and a massive improvement to the station in general. We'll just step outside a second. Here we are outside in the garden, not the best of days, springtime here. You can see by a couple of the flowers, but the weather's been pretty drastic lately. Even having the village itself was cut off either end on the highway by flooding. Never affected us personally, but yeah, it's been pretty rough. So what we're looking at here, so what we've been doing originally, just in the garden over here, we had some vertical antennas, and I was also experimenting with a 3-element parasitic vertical antenna firing long path, and it worked very well compared to the other antennas I've used in the past, and it even worked far better to the single compared to the single element on 20 meters. But then excuse me, I actually got an email from a few people who were quite excitedly telling me about elevated verticals, and I was asked by one or two to at least sort of give it a try if possible, which we did. So basically we put a 20 meter elevated vertical with 4 radials, which I'll show you in a minute. It's just over here. And we did a comparison on the air, which I'll explain back in the shack in a minute. We'll just nip out and we'll just show you what the antenna changes have been so far. So over here we've still got the trusty 40 meter vertical, which obviously works on 50 meters very well indeed. So yeah, over here we used to have 3-element parasitic vertical for 20 meters firing long path, which did work exceptionally well initially. So we'll just go through this way here. These are the parasitic elements we're using. That's all been completely taken down and dismantled now, and this coax here gives you an idea to where we're going. Just out here on the other side of the hedge, this little bridge was completely underwater just 2 days ago. You wouldn't believe how much water we had. Anyway, so we decided to put up a 20 meter elevated vertical, which was highlighted in the last video. This is it, just strapped to a tree here. We've got coax coming in. We've got a connection box here, coax coming down, a wire going up to the top, which is about 4.9 meters tall. That's the active wire. And on this side, not sure if you can just see here, just stuck under here, we've got 4 radials just tied down to a fence and a tree. Very, 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 very simple. Very, very simple, and very, very, very effective. I'm just looking underfoot because it's still really wet here. I don't think the grass will be getting cut this week. Anyway, we've got all the data and results, etc., in the house, in the shack. We'll go back to just giving you a general overview of what we were doing. So as I say, basically we had the 3-element parasitic there firing long path. We put the 20 meter elevated antenna here with just 4 radials, just tied to a bit of tree or whatever. And as you'll see in the results, it works so well. Completely surprised myself. Really did work so well. Just a sort of a bit of giveaway to the storyline here. 1 to 3 S points difference in some parts of the world. It works so well that the old post we had here, we decided to put we decided to put a 17 metre elevated vertical up. I don't normally go on 17 very much, but quite a few people have been asking me, can you please go on 17 and we can get a CW QSO. So we'll just have a look through here. Right, it's a bit dark here because we're amongst the trees and that. And yeah, I know a lot of people are going to say don't put antennas in trees and all this. As I've said in the past, I've had antennas in trees for 12 years here, and I've never had a problem with them at all. I put the antennas out of the way, you know, make them a bit camouflage or whatever. Anyway, so what we did here with this post, this was the original post I had to put a mast on to be used for anything, and we had this bit of tube. So what we did yesterday, it only took me about I think about 45 minutes. This is we got a small wee box here with a coax connector, and this mast is let me see. So this mast is 6 meters tall. 6 meters tall, 2 meters off the ground. We've got 2 elevated radials, one going down to the fence and one going down to some strange looking flowering tree type thing, wherever it is. It was at the right length, so we utilised it. And so anyway, we put this up yesterday for 17 meters. As I say, it's got a 2 meters off the ground, 4 meter radiating element at the top, connector, and this is, at the moment, it's very temporary because I only set this up and then it started to rain. A bit of a choke in there, which we just threw it together. The coax is literally just laid on the floor at the moment, but this coax will goes across the lawn under the house into the shack, but the coax will get buried. I'm going to bury this coax. It's a new coax and it's going to stay here permanently, so I'm going to bury this from the edge of the house right across up to the antenna. Right, let's go in the shack and look at the paperwork. Right, here we are back in the shack again. Quite cold outside, nearly blew my hair off. So right, I'm trying to get through, there's quite a bit of information here, so I'm trying to get through it as quick as I can. Excuse me, and not having to do too many stops and starts and editing and all this. Just try to make it fairly live. No, nothing. I don't try to edit stuff out. I don't see the point of taking stuff out. So, and I've got a bit of I've actually got a bit of a cheat list here, to be honest, because I'm writing everything down with regard this big antenna change here, because I'm hoping to get this with all the photographs, hoping to get it published as well. So what I'm going to do, first of all, basically what we're doing is we as you see, we've put up a 20 meter elevated vertical with 4 simple radials, and the basic idea was we're going to compare that with the 3 element parasitic vertical, which was outside, and just to see. Because I actually thought, to be honest, my 3 element parasitic was about the best antenna I've used here. For those who don't realise, I've tried lots of antennas over the past. I've tried horizontal antennas, loop antennas, loaded antennas. I've tried any amount, and what I've found over the years being here is vertical antennas, for whatever reason. There could be a lot of reasons. Vertical antennas work the best, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. So, first of all, I'd just like to thank a few people that's helped me out on this project, especially Peter, G3OJV, who's given me a lot of encouragement with regard this wee video, and also a lot of information that I'd actually sort of forgotten over the years. You know, I am getting old, because of course, as Peter points out, you know, verticals were not normally on the ground many years ago. It's only in recent years that concept has sort of taken off, and so I didn't really come across or try an elevated vertical in the past. I like to thank a lot of other stations, because a lot of people took time out of their day and on the air with me to do comparisons on the air right there and then. I'd like to thank a few people who actually tried this elevated 20-meter vertical, and they also got really good results as I did, even to the point where some had the first contact into New Zealand. So I'm thankful and very happy for a lot of reasons. And as we all know, there's a lot of videos, diagrams, there's a lot of calculations, plots and graphs, and many other methods out there to predict the results of various antennas and what I was about to try. And I'd just like to state I use none of them. If you don't know me by now, predictions and charts and all this, I just don't bother with. I just go out in the garden, put the antenna up, which is really enjoyable, you know, to put a new antenna up and work out how it works. Is it too long? Is it too short? Do the radials need to go up and down? How, you know, go on the air and do tests. But predictive type things on the internet, I don't use it all. I don't get into them. The other main idea behind this project was not being disrespectful to other people. I'm actually looking for a DX antenna. I'm looking for the simplest and the best antenna, a wire antenna that I can use for DX. I'm not interested in working, you know, just Australia, Japan, and Asia, and these places. I'm interested in looking at working every single station on the other side of the world. So I'm not looking for any type of antenna that might be a compromise. I want a simple resident antenna that works better than I've had in the past, and this is what I was going after. And obviously the results, anybody testing or making comparisons with antennas or against antennas, the results are going to be different every time for every person, every location. There's so many things that can vary. As I say, location, the ground type, the type of tests, and the propagation at the time I was doing the tests can vary so much. There's never a real true comparison. Also, you know, the angle of takeoff from here, different antennas at the other end where I was getting reports from, it could vary. So this is only the results in my situation. I have had people who have tried this antenna in another location in the world. To be honest, it just didn't work. It didn't work any better than the simple dipole they had up or whatever. So it's just the test that I got here. Um, and here, as everybody knows, this was just a very simple, basic antenna that took me about 45 minutes to put up. And when it comes to that, it can be used portable. It can be used portable. I did take it down in sections, wrapped it all up, and wrapped it all around the base of it. Took the antenna and the radials all in. Put it all in one little sack, basically. I did, so it could be stuck on my bike or in a car and taken anywhere you want. It's quite transportable, this. And the other, as people know by now, it's just so simple. I cut out everything from, I just have the radio, the coax, and the antenna. Nothing in between, nothing in that feed line in between. For an improvement in DX at least over 10,000 miles, and basically, what I actually did. So what I actually did was use what I had at hand. So I used for results, I used live there and then results over 2 or 3 weeks. The tests using SDR receivers around the world, which is, we all know there's quite a lot of them at the moment. So basically picking SDR receivers over a number of days, switching between the 3-element vertical parasitic and switching to the 20 meter elevated vertical, which had 4 radials, and I forgot to point out the 3-element parasitic had 300 radials spread out around the place. The other thing I did, obviously, is I used a reverse beacon network, because I can get results without having to involve another person doing things like that. I did do a lot of on-the-air contacts. I don't know how many in the end, but more than 20 or 30. Basically talking to a station, explaining to him that I'm going to switch over antennas. Is that okay? And he said, yeah, it's fine. Switch over, and then I just get basic results of what's on the what happened on the air itself, and and to be completely honest, I was blown away by the results. The single elevated vertical with 4 radials compared against the 3-element vertical with 300 radials. The results were so good, as you could see in the garden. The 3-element has now came down altogether, is completely all disconnected, and apart from putting, as I said, the 20 meter elevated vertical antenna up, I've now put a 17 meter one. Obviously the 40 meter vertical works on 15 meters anyway. So to get straight to it, we're not messing about today. Results are on transmit using the elevated 20 meter, the new antenna over the 3-element parasitic. On average, I got between 1 and 3 S points gain. There was, on average, let's say I got 2 S points with every station I worked, gain over the 3-element parasitic. 2 stations. Now these, by the way, are all stations that are 10,000 miles or more away. Now this, I'm not looking for just working America or stuff like this, 5,000-6,000 miles away. I'm looking for 10, 12, 13, 14,000 miles away. So all the stations I worked were all in that what I call my DX area. I've over the years, I've lived in England. I've worked all of Europe and all these places. Now I want to work round the world. That's what I like doing, working round the world. So I got basically on transmit, I got 1 to 3 S points better gain. This was on the air, results using the reverse beacon network. It averaged out about 2 S points better, and also using the SDR RXs around the world, and actually watching my signal go up and down as I switched from the 3 element to the 2 element. I am still sort of speechless, because I didn't expect anywhere near that much improvement. But I must point out again, this is in my location. This does not work everywhere for everybody. Its location. It sounds a bit, a bit silly, the old location, but it does seem to be the case. It does seem to be the case, and I'm spending more time talking to the amateurs around the world who work me. I work a lot of G stations on the bands, both CW and sideband, and they're using simple wire antennas, and they're found over the years, after trying many antennas like I've done, they've found an antenna for their location that works for them. It may not be a vertical. There's a lot of people I talk to use inverted Ls. They find they work very well in their particular location. So as I say, 1 to 3 S points gain. This is over 3 weeks. I've done a lot of tests, and I've asked a lot of people, can you please hang on while I switch antennas, and everybody's been very, very kind and very nice about me. So on receive, I get 1 to 2 S points better signal on receive. The band noise between the 2 antennas is exactly the same. So I get 1 to 3 S points gain on transmit, 1 to 2 S points better. And it doesn't sound a lot, but I won't go into all the mathematics of it all. But everybody knows, if you get 1 or 2 S points, you're talking about a big amplifier normally to gain that much. So and everybody knows the statistics about graphs versus power over, and all this. I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just going to show you what actually happened, So 1 to 3 S points on transmit, 1 to 2 S points gain on receive. Band noise was exactly the same. The band noise here is not too bad. It's only about an S2, S3 maybe on 40 meters at the worst. So I'm not too worried. So a couple of other points that I found out that I didn't find out on the internet or from Peter. Making the antenna resonant is the same as any other antennas. If it's you've got to cut the wire, make it a bit longer, cut it down until you get the resonant antenna on the frequency on the band that you want. Now just a brief note. Altering the elevated radials themselves to length or angle wise, because they normally say that the driven element and the radials should be roughly the same length. This antenna, by the way, when I put it up, basically what I did, I put the antenna up. It was a bit low in frequency, so I just cut a wee bit off. Is that the right way? Yep. Cut a wee bit off until I got it on the middle of the 20 meter band. SWR was 1.2 across the whole band. And then what would normally happen is people say, then you cut the radials to suit the height of the driven element. I did actually try that. It didn't make any difference. I also tried altering the angle of the radials, because they reckon that alters the angle of the impedance. In most cases here, it made no difference. The impedance on the antenna was 43 ohms. So we had an SWR of 1 to 2 across the band, and 50 ohm cable would go into there quite easily. You know, that's what happened. The new elevated antenna, which is tuned for 20 meters, just to recap, is 1 to 3 S points better. Sorry, I'm reading this down here because I'm old and I can't remember stuff, you know. Yeah, 1 to 3 S points better on TX, 1 to 2 S points better on eSave. Noise was the same. Altering the radials rather lengthwise or angle-wise didn't make any difference whatsoever. What I did find that although this antenna is cut for 20 meters, I am not sure why this is, but the SWR on other bands above 20 meters, 20 up to 10 meters, the SWR wasn't too bad. It was about 2.7 to 1. Which I know I see a lot of people now going, oh my goodness, I can't use that. It's got to be a 1 to 1. I put the wee MFJ tuner in line, tuned it on all the bands from 20 to 10 meters, and I had QSOs, no problem whatsoever. Don't know why the antenna acts like that, but that's just the way it is. And the other thing people ask me about this antenna is, you know, we've only got a little garden, so we can't put anything like that up. Well, I'm sorry, you can. I tried it. I took the antenna down, I took it to the far end, put it in the corner of the garden, put the pole up against the fence, and I put 2 radials on top of the fence itself. Plugged the coax in, came back to the shack, exactly the same results. So you can literally just stick it out the way in a couple of radials on a fence without any problems. So I'll just show you a couple of photographs here if I can find them. First, we're just looking at this is just a logbook, and I'm trying to just look at yes, it is it's CW and sideband with the new elevated antenna. Overall, all these 20 meter QSOs, the average report I got was 5 and 7. Quite a few were 5 and 9. But just to show you the you know where these are going, we've got a couple of stations in England and Scotland and around Europe, all 10,000 miles plus on the new antenna, which worked out very well. And let me see down here. So this was the old antenna, which was a three element parasitic vertical. This is what I was comparing against, and if we can find them over here somewhere, as you've just seen in the garden, is not that one, is this one here. This is basically the antenna here, where I've put up. I've just highlighted things in red. What I actually did, I had a lot of trees I could have put this antenna on, but I picked this tree for a special purpose, because I did have all the radials coming out in all directions originally, and then when I moved the radials, but when I put them in all directions, the radials were going to be in an area where I cut the grass, and I thought, I wonder if I can put all the radials to one side, which I did, which is over rubbish ground that I don't cut grass or anything, and it still worked the same, having all the radials going to one side or all the radials going right round. It didn't in this case it didn't alter anything at all. I'm not sure if there's if we got any more on here. Have a quick look. Yeah, so this is just showing you from sort of face on. You can see the vertical going up and the radials coming towards us, and I've just literally got a stick in the ground, tied the ends to a stick, and as I say, I've put the radials just over rough ground, but I never use a lawnmower, so that makes life. But as I say, you could put it in the corner up against a fence and put the radials on top of a fence. As you see, this is just another shot of the connector here, which is very simple. It's just a box with a coax socket in it and a connector for the radials coming off, and just literally tied to the where are we, tied to the tree here with some velvet strapping material. So there we go, a bit rough and ready. Some people might say like me, I don't mind. I came up brought up on the northeast of England, where you had to be rough and ready and just have a go at everything. So that's. I know it's it's this video is not professional like a lot of people do antenna videos and all that, but I'm just trying to make the video, of there and then what happened, and just show you without going into all the graphs of what could happen and the plots what could happen, without doing a lot of drawings. And I mean, because a lot of it, let's be honest, we're all licensed amateur radio operators. We should know all the basics about a lot of antennas, and it shouldn't phase us to go and try something, without. And I do hear all the time. I hear people saying that I'm gonna look on is it MMNA or something? Going to look on that. I'm going to look on this other chart. I'm going to look at the graphs. I've got graphs that show you SWR versus radials, and oh boy, so I'm not going to apologise for the way I do things. I just try to keep it very, very, very simple. Just the test was to try one antenna against the other, stick it in the field, stick a coax on it, go on the air, do some tests, and I found the results were really good in my case, and I had fun. I had that much fun. I went and put a 17 metre elevated vertical up yesterday, and that's still got the coax to sort out and various pieces like that. The bands conditioned yesterday weren't and the day before weren't very good, as we all know, but I still managed to work my mate Drew, Golf Zero Charlie Zulu Echo, on 17 metres under extremely poor band conditions. So don't in my view, I could have left the antennas as they were. I could have gone out and bought a big amplifier and stuck it under the desk. I could have gone and bought a tower and a beam and done all that, but just trying to make people realize a bit that they don't have to spend a lot of money, and they don't have to buy a lot of things if they can find the simple way that works for you and gets enjoyment on the air. I mean, look, just turn the camera, look at here. I've got a little tiny shack in a cupboard. A little tiny shack in a cupboard, and the few people that have ham radio operators that have been here to visit me, the first thing they do is they come in and look under the bench for the amplifier, and I said, I haven't got an amplifier. And I point out the window and I say, that's where I've got that bit of wire in the sky. But you find the right bit of wire for your location, and you can do well. And yeah, it's been really enjoyable. I hope you do find it a little bit of interest and maybe get something out of it. And yeah, just try to make things a little bit simple. And as I said, I'm a big fan of resonant antennas. I always have been. I want an antenna that's as resonant and efficient as I possibly can. And over the years, I found that using balance and coils and loading and all this, it's just not for me. I just want a piece of wire and a bit of RF and get on the air and have a bit of fun. So 2 new antennas, new band, 17 metres. I'm going up in the world. I normally stick to 40 and 20. Now I'm going on to 17 metres. But I must admit, it's a nice quiet band. I enjoy CW on there. and I'm very happy that a few people have asked me for a CW QSO on 17 meters, and this week we've been able to catch up with them, and we both had fun, and that's what it's all about. It's, you know, it's not who's got this and who's got that, who's better than, you know, who's got the biggest amplifier and who's got this or whatever. Just make life simple. I think that's a good saying. Try to keep things fairly simple. Anyway, thanks for watching. For those who found it a bit boring and fell asleep, wake up! And anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask. You won't offend me, and if you don't like what I'm doing and you're not sure about various things, let me know. I'm a big boy. I don't mind. I just do what's easy for me, what works for me, and what I get enjoyment out of. And I think a lot of other people can do exactly the same if maybe they just think simple and smart. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being there, folks, and all the best. Enjoy your weather, whether it be good or bad, what's coming around the world. We've always got the radio to keep us smiling. CW, good way to go. ZL3XDJ, off and clear. Thanks very much. I really appreciate it. Have a good time. Bye-bye. See ya.